All right, good Wednesday morning, everyone. 48 First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke with you. Thanks for joining us for a Weather Extra. It is 10:30 and it is a very hot day already across the Tennessee Valley. Just add it to the list at this point. We do have the heat advisory for those counties in north central, northwest Alabama, parts of middle Tennessee. The heat index today could be as high as 105 to 109. I know yesterday you hit 98 degrees for your actual high temperature in the Shoals, but your peak heat index was around 108, and we're expecting a similar day today. Now, the problem with the forecast is if we look at next week, it's going to be even worse. Unfortunately, more heat, more humidity. We've got a heat advisory today. At times next week, there's potential that we might be under an excessive heat warning, even if we do get that feels like temperature over 110 degrees. We're forecasting highs around 99 to 100 at the end of your 10-day forecast. So for many of your kids, your students, it's their last week of summer, and it's definitely going to be summer-like here. So we'll cover all that here in a little bit, but appreciate you joining us again for Weather Extra. Always a treat to chat with you all on a Wednesday morning here at 10:30. But just know those signs and symptoms of heat-related illness. If you watched any of our morning newscasts at all lately, we talked to the director of HEMSI here, the ambulance service in Huntsville, Don Webster, and he was saying that the number of calls that they're getting for heat-related illness, they've been on the rise lately, and that's no shocker. I mean, it's summer, and a lot of people have a job that requires them to work outside. But if you're not taking care of yourself, well, it starts to take a toll on your body. So make sure you're staying cool, staying hydrated. I've got a nice air-conditioned couch nap coming after I finish the new newscast today, and then going out with my wife. It's actually our third wedding anniversary today. So we're going to go out, celebrate that, of course. But here's a look at 565 Fly HSV Delta Cam. Looks like your morning traffic is moving along just fine, both east and westbound. Some of you saw some very dense fog this morning, especially those areas that saw the heavy rainfall with the storms yesterday. I know my house probably picked up about 1.5 inches of rain in maybe 20-minute span. A ton of lightning as well with those storms yesterday. Some people losing power because we actually had some winds too across the area. Here's a look at the Parkway, just another look here in Madison County. It looks like things are moving along just fine. We've got one rogue shower that's popped up over parts of Franklin County toward Vina, Hodges, out toward Red Bay. We'll take a look at the radar in a second, but we're really not expecting as much coverage of the rain showers and storms today compared to what we saw earlier this week. So today and tomorrow will be relatively dry. Almost everyone missing out on any form of downpours or storms. By Friday afternoon, evening, looks like we could see some scattered storms popping up, and at least temperatures start to go down a little bit as we get closer to the weekend. I'm not saying it's going to feel a lot better, but at least our temperatures will be a little cooler. Heat index still probably around 100 degrees. I have to turn the lightning counter on the radar. Can't do that from back here, unfortunately, but I don't think we actually have any lightning with this. I think it's just one of those summertime pop-up downpours, a little bit earlier than expected, but right near you in Vina, Hodges, and popping up in parts of South Red Bay there, moving into Marion County too. But that's it as far as the radar goes. Things are quiet right now. A lot of you missing out on the rain today and tomorrow. Next chance of better storm coverage probably coming in that Friday afternoon, evening window. But for the rest of the day today, given our hot temperatures in the mid-90s, the high dew points in the mid-70s, that's where that feels like temperature is going to get up there, 105, 109. But inevitably, this hot and humid, somewhere we will see a couple more of those little downpours popping up like I just showed you in parts of Franklin County. Go out. Forecast heat index today, it's actually going to just warm up really quickly. We'll get to your current heat index here in a moment, but just another very hot, humid day. So take care of yourself. Don't forget about your pets. If they're outside pets too, make sure they got shade, plenty of water, and also check on your elderly neighbors too. This heat sometimes really starts to take a toll. Now, we do have a small change for tomorrow. I'm not even sure how noticeable it's going to be, but I think some of you might feel the difference between what we've had today and what we're expecting tomorrow. And that's because some drier air actually starts to make its way in overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. All has to do with the direction of the wind. The air temperature tomorrow, I think we're forecasting 94 degrees. And notice it's a lot closer to the feels like temperature because our dew point is actually going to be just in the upper 60s to low 70s. Now that's kind of a negligible difference as far as the dew point. but it is a little bit drier, and I think you'll actually feel the difference. At least some of you will for sure if you spend any time outside. But your heat index still in the upper 90s to lower 100s. It might just feel a little bit better tomorrow. And hey, we'll take a little bit better at this time of July here, almost into August. So heat index on Friday climbing up pretty quickly, mid to upper 90s there at noon. Should probably see some triple digits until we see those scattered showers and storms popping up for Friday afternoon. For today, mainly sunny, becoming partly cloudy. We're going to start to see those clouds just kind of building in progressively as we go through the afternoon. Wind out of the east-southeast about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So here's the actual air temperature. Already at 86 in Scottsboro, same score 86 in Decatur, 85 Moulton, 88 in the Shoals. Now, when you look at the dew point, this is kind of the yuck factor here. Looks like a dew point in the mid-70s. I think that 80, Leoma and Pulaski, they tend to run a little bit warm. 77 though, I believe that up in Lincoln County, Fayetteville too. But a dew point in the mid-70s, that deep tropical moisture. So you factor in the highs, or temperatures rather, not your highs. We haven't hit that yet. We're getting there this afternoon. The temps right now in the mid to upper 80s, dew point in the mid-70s. You put those numbers together, and you get a heat index right now at 1036 of 100 degrees. That's what it feels like in Florence. Everyone else in the mid-90s. We are yet again watching another center of low pressure. It's off the coast of Florida and Georgia there on the Atlantic. And that low is going to swing into the Gulf here over the next 2 days. And that's going to bring some rounds of showers and storms, potential for maybe 5-6 inches of rainfall across parts of the Gulf Coast there through Louisiana, down to the beaches too. So if you have a beach trip, I'm not talking about a washout weather. This is not going to be a tropical system most likely, but it could still bring some inclement weather in the form of rain showers and storms. It's also going to reinforce that oppressive humidity as we go into the weekend. But this is a similar situation. We thought this was going to be Dexter 2 weeks ago, but that low is just going to ride that area of high pressure, ride the ridge, and that clockwise flow around it swings that low right there into the Gulf, just going with a 10% chance of cyclone development. So probably not a named storm coming out of this. However, it will bring heavy rainfall and periods of storm. So for the rest of the day today, most of you end up staying dry. We will see some hit and miss showers, some downpours, storms popping up, maybe some lightning, some brief gusty winds. But the coverage is going to be very, very isolated. A lot of you not seeing any rainfall through the day today. We go through tomorrow, more sunshine, hot day, not as humid, but still pretty uncomfortable at times. Could still get, heat exhaustion or heat stroke on a day like we're forecasting for your Thursday, even though it won't be as bad as what we've got today. So forecast rainfall, this is for the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, into Friday. And most of this is going to come in later in the graphic here. You see it now. This is factoring in the Friday scattered showers and storms, maybe just 1/10 to about 1/2 inch. You can actually see that low there where it says Jacksonville on the map. And that's that low that's going to swing into the Gulf. And then ahead of that, we've got another round of showers and storms. So for tonight, I don't think fog's going to be a huge issue tomorrow. Still pretty muggy waking up tomorrow under mostly clear skies. But the lack of substantial rainfall today, if you do see a shower, it does look like maybe some fog possible in your location. But a lot of us should have a pretty forgiving Thursday commute. The day tomorrow, warming up. We've got a southeasterly wind, high temperature about 94 degrees, and skies becoming partly cloudy into the afternoon. Now, let's get to that 10-day forecast or extended forecast here. Scattered showers and storms back by Friday afternoon and evening. The weekend is actually trending a lot drier, so that's good for any outside plans you may have. And I mentioned this right at the beginning of Weather Extra. Look at those temperatures on the right side of your phone screen or tablet, however you're watching us, maybe on the desktop too. But we're forecasting triple-digit heat, and that is the air temperature. That's not factoring in the humidity. If we hit 100 degrees and have a dew point in the 74 to 76 degree range, our heat index or feels like temp is probably going to exceed 110, and that would probably put us in that excessive heat warning criteria versus just a heat advisory. So we might see some first alert weather days for that dangerous heat and humidity combination as we go into next week. So I mentioned a lot of your students, that's their last week before they return to the classroom, but it's going to be hot enough for them, that's for sure. But just stay hydrated, stay cool, friends. Thanks all for joining us. Appreciate your time as always. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you the same time tomorrow at 10:30 for Weather Extra.